What if I told you there's a phone call on the table that instantly changes how the Lakers close games, flips the geometry of the floor, and turns late clock panic into late clock poise? What if I told you it's not a swing for the fences and pray move, but a cold grown-up basketball decision that trims turnovers, raises shooting gravity, and gives Anthony Davis a pick-and-roll partner who actually reads second-level help like a tax attorney? And what if I told you the clock on this opportunity is louder than you think, because the West does not wait, and neither do legs in year 22, before anyone tweets star-chasing breathe? This is not a fantasy bundle where we ship half the roster in a small national park. This is about fit, leverage, and how you steal games in April with execution instead of pyrotechnics. It's about the difference between a dribble handoff that dies on the wing and a two-man action that forces a defense to choose which paint it prefers. It's about raising the floor so the ceiling can stay put together. Here's my promise. In the next few minutes, we're going to talk about exactly what this offense is missing on the ball, what kind of guard fixes it without detonating the rotation, what the economics look like under the new CBA shackles, and what the defensive patchwork would require so you don't become a runway for 6'6", scorers with shoulders like refrigerators. We'll map out lineups, crunch style not spreadsheets, and give you the real checklist the front office uses when it stops reading rumors and starts reading the rulebook. You're watching Lakers News Fan Report, our place for basketball with a pulse and a plan. If you live for fourth-quarter chess and not third-quarter excuses, hit subscribe, drop a like, and type half-court calm in the comments so the algorithm knows Lakers fans still care about details. Let's lay out the honest intro. The Lakers have had bursts of pace, streaks of shot-making, and nights where the ball whips around like it's allergic to dribbling. They've also had too many possessions where the offense turns into a group project at 11:58 p.m. Everyone looks busy. No one writes the thesis. When the game slows, you need a small space surgeon, pull-up threat, pocket pass timing, floater package, and a jumper that punishes the first help and freezes the second. Second part of the intro. Anthony Davis needs a pick-and-roll partner who doesn't just run the play, but manipulates it. Someone who knows when to snake, when to split, when to keep two on the ball that extra beat, so the lob window opens like a camera shutter. LeBron can still quarterback sets like a NASA launch, but the body budget is real. You don't want him lugging the usage log in February like it's a moving day couch third. And this is where it gets spicy. The CBA is a maze with traps. Second apron teams pay for errors with creativity. You can't gather guards like Pokemon. You need the right one on a real contract who changes what you call and how opponents guard you. Not a vibe signing, a schematic signing. And here's the last piece of the intro. The profile we're talking about isn't a heat check artist who needs 20 shots to find math. It's a lead guard with actual efficiency, high-end handle, a top-tier pull-up, and playmaking that feeds both bigs and wings without turning every trip into a masterclass in dribble exhibition. If your brain just started drawing a certain silhouette, congratulations, you've done this before. Okay? Paragraph 10. Name on the whiteboard. Darius Garland. The idea is speculative, not a report. Everybody relax, your blood pressure is the Lakers exploring a path to bring in Garland as the primary engine next to a D and the existing core. Building a half-court identity that travels and survives playoff oxygen levels. Why Garland? Because his game is the cheat code this roster keeps looking for in fragments. The pull-up three off high pick-and-roll bends coverage, whether it goes in or not. Defenses step up, which fattens the short roll for a D like it's Thanksgiving. His pace is elastic. He can play at 1.2x speed to beat tags, then slow to 0.8x for the floater when the bid commits. That in-between economy is what turns nice action into automatic advantage. Garland's handle is not for show. It's for angles. He'll bounce the ball into the exact blade of grass that forces a drop big to choose between the lob and the lane. He doesn't need a screen reset every 8 seconds. He is the rare small guard whose efficiency isn't built entirely on streaks. It's built on shot profile. Pull-ups, floaters, pocket passes. The holy triangle. Fit with a D? It's made in a lab. Put Garland at the top, AD at the slot, space the corners with two willing shooters, and run Spain action until opponents file HR complaints. Garland's lift on the jumper forces the top defender to chase. AD's gravity forces the backline to tag. Your weak side wing gets a lift drift 3 or a 45 cut layup. This is not hope the role player hits. This is repeatable offense you can call 3 times in a row in a Game 5 when the building is on fire. But defense, my dude. Sure, small backcourts have tax bills. The plan is not to pretend the bill doesn't come. It's to pay it smart. You stagger Garland's minutes so he's protected by your better length. You top lock scorers into traffic. You funnel handlers into a D's airspace where floaters get recalibrated to nope. Point of attack help from a long wing, nail help from a strong guard, and selective switching with post help ready. You don't erase slippage, you budget for it. Let's talk late game. The Lakers have needed a guard who can start the possession without using the whole possession to start. Garland can get into offense at 18 on the shot clock, not 10, so your first read isn't your last. 2-for-1 math improves. ATOs become layered instead of token. And because you can hit the pull-up from above the break, you finally yank that low man a step higher, which is the difference between a lob caught and a lob contested. What about the current creators? This is additive, not cannibal. You don't bring Garland in to turn others into furniture. You bring him in so their touches are more meaningful. Secondary creators feast when the primary can draw 2 with the dribble and still see the kick out. Spot-up efficiency rises. Drives happen against tilted floors, not set walls. And the transition game. Defense must respect the pull-up, so big sprint to the rim against the retreating shell hello drag screen into free throws. Economics without a migraine. Garland is on a real contract rookie max extension territory, which means you're matching significant salary, period. That's not scandal. That's the CBA. What matters is whether the pieces outgoing equal a better fitting engine incoming. You care about years left, guarantees, and flexibility. You care that the cost in picks doesn't amputate future optionality. You care that the tax apron booby traps don't handcuff the back half of the roster. Why would Cleveland even pick up? Situations evolve. Roster balance, timelines, internal development, and how a team views its best path to two-way stability can nudge decisions. Sometimes excellent players on excellent contracts move because the jigsaw shifts, not because they did anything wrong. If the asks align value, fit, respect talks happen. If they don't, they don't. No melodrama required. On-court packages to imagine. No spoilers about who would go. We're speaking in basketball language. Horns with Garland lifting into the slot and AD slipping early. Chicago action ghost screen with your wing sprinting into a dribble handoff that turns into Spain. Empty corner pick and roll to eliminate help from the strong side. These are not Instagram highlights. They're playoff staples. Garland's off-ball is the underrated sweetness. He's not a statue when the pass leaves his hands. He relocates like a shooter. He sprint drifts into windows. And he understands how to occupy the weak side slot so the low man can't camp in a D's lap. Put him next to a wing willing to swing, and you get that beautiful possession where the ball changes sides twice and the defense burns its legs, lets hit durability, and usage sanity. The goal isn't to hand the keys and tell him to do donuts for 36 minutes. It's to spread the drive time. LeBron's on-ball load drops without neutering his control. AD's touches arrive earlier in the clock and closer to the rim. Your wings get cleaner looks because somebody else did the math for them. Garland at 28 to 30 smart minutes beats any guard at 36. Please save us minutes. Spacing is a living thing. Garland's pull-up forces the top to honor him at 27 feet. Your corners have to be adults, and your dunker spot becomes a timing dance flash, seal or clear. It's the kind of offensive ecosystem where role players thrive because their jobs shrink. Catch, decide, shoot. Not catch, dance, pray. Clutch time clarity. You want 2 actions, not 8 dribbles. Option A, high PNR with a Spain tag. Option B, go screen into reject. If the defense top locks the shooter in Spain, slip and lob. If they switch, target the weakest link and force the nail to choose. If they blitz, short roll a D into 4-on-3. Garland runs all of that with the calm of a guy picking avocados press. Check. Pick the right one. Let's talk fear. Fans fear the small guard tax. Coaches fear the rotation math. Teammates fear losing rhythm. Front offices fear the pick drawer. The antidote to fear is a plan. You build the rotation in 10-game blocks. You define second unit usage so nobody goes feral. You stagger to keep a handler on the floor at all times, and you map rest nights so April isn't a triage unit. There is no perfect. There is only coherent. Now the trade cost reality check without fake numbers. It won't be a coupon. Talent at this level never is. But the calculus is simple. Would you rather overpay in abstract assets for a flawed fit, or pay market rate for a piece that fixes your most playoff-relevant weakness? If your answer is the second, you at least make the call. If the price is silly, you hang up, drink water, and move on. Defense again. Because banners don't hang themselves. Scheme the guard. You can ice side PNR to send handlers into long arms. You can pre-switch to keep Garland off certain matchups. You can hard show and recover when the opponent's fifth is a non-shooter. You can dig from the nail with a strong-chested wing who knows the difference between help and reach. None of this is revolutionary. It's responsible. Intangibles. Garland's reputation is as a worker, a teammate, and a steady presence. That matters in a locker room that feels every headline. Stars like playing with guys who give them easy points. Bigs like playing with guards who don't grenade them with last-second hospital passes. Role players like playing with decision-makers who let them touch the ball before asking them to shoot it. What about development minutes? Weirdly, this helps. When your primary creation is stable, you can actually schedule the right reps for your younger pieces. They get to learn in clean spacing, not in mud. Their mistakes get absorbed by structure instead of magnified by chaos. That's how you grow without punting games. Let's imagine the first week. Game 1, 10 early touches for a D, 5 of them in empty corner PNR with Garland. 2 Spain calls in the third to calm a run. 1 baseline out-of-bounds set where Garland screens for a wing before popping for a catch-and-shoot 3. Game 2, trap comes earlier, so you lean on short roll passing and weak side hammer. Game 3, opponent top lock shooters, so you flip to 77 actions and snake into floaters. This is a menu, not a mean dot, and if the talks never get off the ground, nothing breaks. The exercise still tells you a profile you must chase. Real pull-up gravity, turnover reverse table setting, and enough craft to live in playoff paint without a boarding pass. Whether that's Garland or someone in the same archetype, the vision remains consistent. A franchise gets in trouble when it chases a name instead of a need. Now it's your turn. What's your basketball honest price for a high-end primary guard in this ecosystem? Are you protecting certain picks at all costs? Or are you more worried about the middle of the rotation? Which lineups would you spam in a 7-game series? Who guards the other team's best guard? And how do you protect Garland in those stretches? More switch, more scram, more zone wrinkles. Drop your plan, not just your feelings. Also, how would you stagger? Would you keep Garland with the second unit for 6 minutes to juice those minutes? Or keep him married to a D to maximize the 2-man game? Are you starting with a big wing for extra length or leaning pure shooting and dealing with matchups later? Be specific down, distance, action. Let's build a playoff rotation in the comments like adults. If you've been nodding for the last 5 minutes, you know what this is. Not a rumor mill sugar rush, but a blueprint. The West is an arms race where the best weapon is structure. If you can buy half-court certainty at market rate, you do it. If you can't, you learn exactly what you're missing and spend the season auditioning the closest version you can afford. My personal take. If the cost lies in the realm of sane and the medicals and fit boxes are genuinely green, Darius Garland is the most coherent on-ball answer for what the Lakers need in crunch time and in May. But yes, this is speculation, not an announcement.